Hey, 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 it's Leonard Show coming to you from the TLC Show. And today we're here with our financial educator, and he's going to be telling us about the financial literacy. We're going to be getting a lot of information just so later on down the line we'll be able to know these things because it is important. So let's give it up for Mr. Leonard Kincaid. How you doing today?
I'm well, thank you, and yourself.
Okay, so how you doing?
I'm delighted to be with you.
We're on.
I am really excited to learn about what you guys are doing. I think what you're doing is so very important. And let me just give you a little bit about my background
Okay.
that will give you some information on why this may be so passionate to me.
Okay, of
Okay.
course. Let us hear it.
I've worked in the nonprofit field for the last 35 years. Okay, I worked specifically in the area of helping people who have addiction and mental health issues. But one of the things that I've also learned through the years is that one of the big missing components in the educational system is focus on financial literacy. Okay. And so as I move into my retirement years, one of the things I'm committing myself to is to be a part of a team that's bringing this information to the public, and especially focusing on young people. You know, I wished I had financial literacy introduced to me when I was in high school, which is where it should be taught. We should not graduate from high school without going through a course on financial literacy, because it's the very foundation of how we manage ourselves financially for the rest of our lives. Most of us don't even discover that until we're well into our senior years, well into our career years, and then we've lost a lot of time. And time is what's so important in being able to build a solid financial foundation. And anybody can build a solid foundation. You just have to have the tools. And that's what this program is all about.
It is, and I agree because yes, when I was in school, I didn't learn about financial literacy, and I graduated in 2020. So,
Yes.
and I still don't even know anything about it. I suck at saving. I'm bad at managing money. So, this is real helpful for me, and I know it's going to be helpful for y'all as well. So,
Believe me, you are not alone. Most of us go through where you are right now without having the awareness until we're much later in our years. Sometimes we never come around to it. But there's some interesting thing about understanding financial literacy. Some of the foundation of financial literacy is simply thinking about yourself as a business. Okay, each of us basically represent a business unto ourselves. So what's the commonality between being a business and a business? Okay, so what we share with being a business is a business have income and expenses. What do we have? Income and expenses. Okay, a business also have assets and liability. What do we have? Assets and liability. We buy a car, we got an asset that's also a liability. We buy a house, we got an asset that's also a liability. Okay, understanding how to build wealth start with understanding that your wealth is built in the difference between your assets and your liabilities. What that means is that you want way more assets than you have liabilities. Okay, because the difference between the two means this is your net asset. Net asset is where your wealth is. Okay, but it all goes back to just the income and expenses, and that's what we don't get in school, and that's what trips us up. Because what do? We go out, we graduate school, we get a job,
you just working, paying
and
bills.
the first thing we do after we get a job is go get some debt
Exactly.
with your credit card and the
Exactly.
car you can't afford, and some of the clothes you want to buy that you can't afford because you put them on credit and all of that. So yeah, that's the foundation. If we can start with that, then we can get into, okay, now how do we grow wealth? And that's where you get into investing and savings and how you save and what you save in and where you put your money. And one of the things that wealthy people understand that the rest of us don't is that wealthy people make their money work harder for them than they work for it. What we do is we work harder for our money than our money do for us.
Yeah. Agreed. Most definitely we do. Put
Yes,
all the time in, all the work, and then,
yes.
yep. Okay, so did you learn about money the hard way, or did you have like someone guide you?
I learned the hard way and really late in life. Now, I will tell you that I was fortunate enough to almost always throughout my career have a job. Okay.
Okay.
And in most of my jobs, that was an opportunity to save. Okay. Through like a 401 program, which is where the employee matches your contribution. So that is a very good way to start it. But most of my wealth has been built in real estate investments. Okay.
Okay.
Owning the asset that is also a liability. But one of the things about real estate is that as you pay your mortgage down, the value of your house is likely to go up, and so that is increasing your assets while you reduce your liability.
Okay. I mean, I understand that a little. It still seems a little difficult. It seems like it's way more in depth into it.
There's a lot to it, but it's actually simple once you get into it. From the outside looking in, it looks like a lot, but once you're inside of it, it's not as nearly as complicated as it appeared to be.
Okay.
And you young people, I'm telling you, you guys are smarter than we were. So you've got time on your side, which is the big equalizer.
Yeah, I could say that, but I mean, some of us really feel like it's really not enough time. Like, yeah, we so young, but we still feel like we should already have it all together, or we should at least be somewhere, So it's like, yeah, we got time, but it really just don't be feeling like it.
Yeah, I'm glad you have that attitude because it forces you to take this serious, okay, without thinking that you'll deal with it later. Because every day you put it off is a day lost in building on the foundation for your financial future. And so I, I can't tell you how delighted I am and excited I am to be a part of a conversation like this with you and the organization that you represent. Because you're taking this message to young people who are likely to hear it because you're hosting the conversation. I could be on screen and having this conversation too, but you probably wouldn't pay me any attention. But now that I'm sitting there talking to you, and you realize the value of this as a young person, then you can help the people that are here in this program also understand its value.
I do agree, because I mean, it be times where we feel like, okay, yeah, we don't want to just start on it, or we don't want to just start actually applying it. And then later on down the line, we just be looking like, dang, if I would have started then, imagine where I would be now. Imagine how much information I would have now. So it's like you might as well just start, just so later on you won't have to have that same mindset and be asking yourself that question again.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that. Because I look back and said, man, what if I had started sooner? Where would I be now? And that's the woulda, shoulda, coulda, which doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah.
That's a zero sum game because you've lost woulda, shoulda, coulda means you've already lost that opportunity, but you don't have to lose the opportunity going forward from here. So that is the key. Understanding that you can start right now because you guys, as young as you are, I mean, you got way more time. Say, okay, if you wait 10 years to get started, you would have lost 10 years of opportunity to be invested. And if you wait till you're in your 40s, then you've lost 20 years of time that you can't get back. You
Yeah.
cannot get that time back. And you can't really make it up because you would have to save triple the amount to get to where you are if you had started in your 20s by the time you get to your 40s. And so it cannot be overemphasized, the value. And it's not about how much. It's largely about a mindset where you understand that I'm going to make preparing for my future my highest priority. I'm going to make preparing for my future my highest priority. And so what that means is that whatever amount of money you're making, you take a little bit of that and set it aside because that is your investment for your future. And if you're fortunate, your future is going to come. If you're really fortunate, you'll live to be my age.
All right, we all want that.
I hope that for you.
Okay, so what are some common mistakes that you see today that the youth be making at, and how can we like avoid them? What are ways that they could avoid them?
I think you just mentioned the primary one, and that is that You don't see yourself being in a position to start, and so you put it off. Okay, you do not make it a priority because you
Okay.
don't really understand the value of time. And it's not about how much you save. It's about the fact that you get into the habit of saving and you make it like your religion. Okay, and that time, even with a little bit, you start with what you can afford to do. Even if you have to make some sacrifices in your lifestyle to do this. Maybe put off that more expensive car for a cheaper car. Put off that great big fancy apartment for a cheaper apartment. And what that means is that you're living in your means. You're always managing your expenses inside of your income. That is the key to manage your expenses inside the income. I know how difficult that must be for a young person to wrap their head around.
Yes,
Okay, because
most
there's so
definitely.
much competition for your money.
I agree. It's hard for me to save. Like, I don't know how to save at all. I can have some money saved, but then I'll be like, I
Gotta
need
have
this. I
it.
need
Gotta
this.
have it.
I could just take a little eye. I could just take a little eye.
Yes.
Okay, so what does financial literacy actually mean in like everyday life? Because I like when I hear it, I just think money. I
Yeah.
honestly just don't really know the meaning, what it is. So, what does
So financial literacy, I think in a nutshell, means understanding how to manage money within your means. Okay. All right.
okay?
Um, you earn $100 a week. All right. Just as an example. Okay. You know you've earned $100 a week. So you know that what you got to spend is maybe $90 a week because 10 of that money is going into a savings. And so it's like paying yourself. Now, this is a poor example, but I think you get the picture. But what that also means is that you have to make decisions about what you spend money on or what you commit to. As an example, paying attention to credit card. Credit cards are the easiest way to trap you in debt, okay? Because money is out of sight. You can put that credit card down and you don't realize that you just spent money. You just picked up that thing that you wanted to buy and walked out the store with it. But now you've got to pay for it. And so that money's got to come from somewhere. So controlling the commitment to the expenditures is one of the greatest accomplishments that you can make on your journey to financial literacy. Okay, and financial literacy is a journey. I mean, it's not a destination. It's a journey because the marketplace keeps changing. There are huge, huge opportunities out there in vehicles that you can use to put your money where your money will work for you. Okay, there are a bunch of different principles associated with it, but the one that you can start with is just understanding how to manage your money against your debt.
Okay, okay. I like that. I like that. So, what books, apps, or resources would you recommend for beginners?
Well, the program that I'm with has some excellent material that you can start with. These are great teaching tools. This one walks you through the whole process of budgeting and the process of delaying investments versus starting your investments earlier. And the difference that if you start investing early versus you start investing late, how much of a difference is made in the person that started late to try to make up to where the person who started early is in their journey, even if they start and stop. The person that start early, like if you start investing in your 20s and you go through your 20s and you get to your 30s and you stop. Okay, a person who started in their 30s, they'll probably have to invest until they're in their 60s to catch up with where you would be, although you just invested in those first 10 years. So you'll learn all that kind of information as you go through this book. This one is called the Financial Education Workbook, and that's a good name for it.
Most definitely. Okay. So, what do you want the world to know about your mission?
That I want the people that are young, younger than me, to understand financial literacy so you can free yourself from the burden of debt, which is kind of like a chain tied to your leg. Uh, it really controls your life. If you're in debt, oftentimes you have to stay in a job that maybe you don't even like, but you have to stay in that job because you have to service that debt. Okay, it gives you the freedom to be able to make choices about where you decide to spend your time and your energy and your talent. Okay, if you don't, if you've got a secure savings, then you can make choices about whether or not you stay in a job based on whether you like it or whether the job meets your satisfaction in terms of your desire to do the work that you're doing and the gratification you get from that, and just the gratification and satisfaction that you get from being in a workplace that serves your interest.
Okay. Okay. I agree with that because yeah, I mean, it be a lot. It do be a lot. Okay,
I
so
know. And the other thing you know that you guys have got to think about is the marketplace is changing. And so the kind of jobs that used to be pretty easy to get without education or without some pretty high level skills are becoming fewer and far in between. And those are the jobs that's pretty intensely labor oriented, physically labor oriented. And so that's another thing that you need to be considering about making a career choice. And when you're in your 20s, you are still making career choices. It's plenty early enough in your life. This is after you get out of high school. You get out of high school, and oftentimes you get out of high school and you're not prepared for the job market. Okay, you're not. You oftentimes you do. Maybe I'll do trade school, but you don't know which trades will serve you best. Or maybe I'll do college, but I don't know which major I'm going to pursue. Most people who go into college, 4-year college, they probably change their major 4 or 5 times before they settle on the major in the 4 years, what degree that they graduate with, because they're trying to figure it all out. The truth of the matter is, a much better job could be prepared for preparing young people to be ready for a career choice by the time they get out of high school, so they don't waste those 4 years with that discovery. And so, one of the ways to do that is there was a curriculum that, or a program that allowed young people, and this is something that you guys could consider doing, taking career choice opportunities into schools, into high schools in particular, where you can get these kids started very early on. These are the jobs, these are the current jobs, and this is the kind of pay you can earn associated with these jobs. Because, kids graduate school and say, oh, I think I want to be a bank teller, or I think I want to be a social work major, okay? Or I think I want to be a coach. I think I want to be a nurse,
yeah.
okay? But they choose those careers without knowing anything about, okay, what can I expect to earn on an annual salary for a beginner with a degree in that area or a certificate in that area. And it's the same thing for skill jobs like welders, air condition repair people, and automobile mechanics. All those are well-paying jobs. Of course, automobile mechanics are becoming way more technical than they used to be. So you got to have some technical savvy under your belt to get a good job in that industry
Yeah.
now. But but kids should be able to start making career choices about where they want to go when they're in high school. So when they come out of high school, they know they're going to a trade school. They know they're going to a junior college. They know they're going to a senior college. And they know what they want to study, and they know why they want to study that. Okay, they want to study that, and they know how much those fields pay, and they know what kind of career options they got inside those fields. Like what's my upward promotion inside those fields, and so having that coming out of high school, can you imagine how powerful that would be for young people, so they don't waste a bunch of times?
No, seriously, real powerful. I mean, they'll feel like they'll have like more control. They not just everywhere
Yeah,
unorganized, being in more depth, causing depth, and
yep,
then it's like now we just working at jobs just to pay that depth off and to pay
yes,
the bills, and it's just like no interest.
yes,
So
yes. We got a
yeah,
lot of work to do, but the opportunities in front of us, and it's especially true with people like you guys and
it
what you're trying to
is
do.
most definitely because all we need to do is just give back, give to the youth, help them
Yeah,
in all the ways, not just certain ways or
yeah,
every way that we can, because they need it. I
yeah,
mean, I needed it. We still need it.
yeah.
Okay, so if you, let's say if you had a message for the youth, what would
Okay.
it be? What would it be?
Make learning financial literacy a priority, because it will absolutely influence the rest of your life. Absolutely influence the rest of your life. Probably more than any other single discipline.
Okay. So y'all hear that? If y'all really want to be successful, y'all not even just successful, y'all really just want to not be in debt, be able to feel like y'all in control of the things that y'all do in y'all life, really take learning about financial literacy seriously. Not even learning about it, actually just applying it. You can learn about it and just be sitting on the information, and just the information is just there. You
Yeah.
still getting in depth because you're not applying and using the information that you're actually getting. So really use that and really take it with you throughout every stage in your life for the rest of your life, because it's still going to be important even when you get up older in your age. Just start doing it young. Start now. So thank you. I'm
You're
so
welcome.
happy to talk to you. It felt good meeting you, getting more information. I feel a little better about learning about financial literacy, and I'm actually ready to dive in onto
Very
it.
good.
So I do appreciate you for coming.
You're
Thank
more than
you.
welcome. It was a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
We're on.